Welcome to Sheena Says, a podcast about wellness, parenting, and real stories.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sheena Says. Okay, this one is for you ladies. We are going to be talking about hormonal health. So, the girls, the women, the ladies, all the females have their menstrual cycles, and the hormonal health really does depend on that. It hinges on it actually. So, for all the girls out there, for all the ladies, there are several things that you go through every single month, and it will definitely affect your mood. It affects your sleep. It affects your appetite. It affects absolutely everything about us. And about 90% of all women who are having their cycle experience symptoms that are severe enough where they are categorized as PMS symptoms. Over 90% of all females always experience PMS symptoms, and it affects their mood, their sleep, their appetite, everything about them. And another 20 to 30% will experience PMDD, which is a much more extreme form of these symptoms and will lead to higher mood swings. Then there is also PCOS, which is a very commonly diagnosed issue with women with their metabolic hormonal conditions, which involves like irregular cycles, insulin resistance, androgen excesses, weight gain, erotism. A lot of these issues come along with these diagnoses. Now, how to handle it, what to do about it? Are we doomed to suffer all our lives? No, it's a very natural process and part of life, and it can be handled, and the cycle can be regulated naturally. A lot of it can be handled completely naturally. What about birth control? Is that good for you? Because that's normally what is prescribed in any case where your cycle is disrupted or irregular or coming too quickly. All the regular forms of birth controls have side effects. Some side effect are another. Now, women also talk about different forms of birth control. Is birth control the pill better? IUD better? Is there anything else out there that can help them, that can regulate the cycle or their hormones, and or be part of the birth control process as well? Now, these are all very, very deep topics, and we should get into it because they're not often talked about. Females are shy, they don't feel it's appropriate or it's taboo, they don't ask the right questions, or they simply believe whatever the gynecologist is telling them to be best in their favor. They will not further research it or question it until it is too late, until you're actually experiencing the downside of those things. Now, a lot of gynecologists don't mention is that IUDs have severe side effects, including weight gain, acne, brain fog, alopecia. A lot of these IUDs long term will produce those side effects. A lot of them do talk about the birth control side effects because now it's such a mainstream topic. They do have weight gain, mood swings, severe fluctuations in weight. So, yes, all of that will come into play. Now, how to regulate your cycle naturally? There are several ways to do that. If you are young and just starting and your cycle is irregular, you can definitely add more iron into your diet. There are also several natural supplements that can help do that. You can eat a lot more beets. Normally, the cycle is delayed either because of low progesterone and or low iron in the body. So regulate your iron intake. And for progesterone, if you do feel the need, if you have passed 15 and you have not gotten your cycle yet, then yes, you can introduce a natural supplement which can help you with natural progesterone levels as well, and then seek further help. Now, homeopathically, it is totally possible to regulate the cycle, stop the cycle, start the cycle, whatever you need to get done, it can happen. So, I'm a big proponent of doing it naturally. Definitely read our blog on it and go to the website if you need to, yourhomeopathy.com, and see if the homeopathic way is right. If you need a professional consult, you can always call in. But don't go for birth control right away, or don't go for any kind of injections because they not only disrupt your natural hormones, they don't regulate it. And that's a big no to me. Now, for those females who are having super heavy periods, again, look for a natural alternative. Are you having big clots, high cramping, super heavy periods, and you don't know what to do? There are several options for it. If you discuss it with your gynecologist, they would probably tell you that a hysteroscraping is something that they can do for you, and thin your lining down so that the periods do become more manageable. And if you do not want to do the hysteroscraping way, they suggest like a DNC, or they will suggest then getting on some other form of birth control. Neither of those, I have nothing against the scrapings. If that helps you, immediate relief is fine. Absolutely go for it. There's nothing too harmful coming out of it. But you do not have to get a hysteroscopy is different from a hysterectomy. You can get a hysteroscopy done or a scraping done, but you do not necessarily need to have a hysterectomy simply to reduce your cycle because it's too heavy or cramping or too painful or clotting too heavily. For clotting or heavy periods, there are natural alternatives. Again, I would only recommend homeopathy because it has zero side effects, but you can try other alternatives as well. Now, for those females who are entering their perimenopause or menopausal state, I would say listen to our next episode, then we can take care of it there. But there are several ways of actually promoting your menopause. If you're done with having your kids and you're just looking to close the cycle down, there are several natural ways of doing it. Now, for those females who are experiencing PCOS, PMS, or PMDD, I would strongly suggest, again, find alternatives, reduce your stress levels, and around your cycles, please introduce stuff that helps your cycle. So if you're already having a heavy cycle, start doing less workouts. Don't work out around your cycle time. Use hot compresses, rest a lot, take vitamins. And if you need to take a Tylenol on those days when the pain is really bothering you and you need to stay functional, do that. Don't keep suffering. Pain doesn't equal normal. It is a very common thing to experience, yes, but help yourself. If you are irritable and you're having mood swings, then step away from your triggers and learn to soothe yourself naturally. Again, we have all kinds of remedies to help you with staying calm, with having more normal periods, more regulated periods, less clotting, less pain. There is a full hormonal pack available, and you can check that out on our blog. You can check it out on our site. You can go to yourhomeopathy.com and check that out. But help yourself. Don't just keep suffering, and don't take your doctor's word for it that there's nothing you can do. There are several things you can do to help yourself, and you should be helping yourself. Now, let me explain the 4 menstrual phases. The first is where the hormones are low and there is low stress tolerance, which is the menstrual phase. And the estrogen and the progesterone in this phase are the lowest. So your body is focusing, it needs rest, it needs repair, it has very low tolerance for stress, and many women will feel tired or emotionally sensitive during this time. Guess what? Then don't fight with your husbands. Step away from them. If they know that their kids are getting to you or your parents are going to scream at you, just put a smile on your face and let them know that you need some time and space. You can do it nicely as well. The second phase, the follicular phase, is when the estrogen rises steadily, where the energy, the focus, motivation, and the optimism is a lot better. So that after your cycle from day 1 to 5 has ended, and now your day 6 to 13 are the follicular phase. Now, the third phase is the ovulatory phase, which is around day 14 from the beginning of your cycle. So if you're looking to conceive, that's when you need to focus on getting together. So that will be your ovulation phase, and the estrogen is peaking at that time. Your confidence, your communication, and social skills are at the highest. And the nervous system at this point is the most balanced. Now, the fourth is the luteal phase, which is day 15 to 28, where again the progesterone is rising It's acting as a calming, stabilizing hormone. The blood sugar becomes more sensitive, the stress tolerance drops again, and where this is where the PMS appears if the progesterone is low or stress is high. Now, the stress and cortisol hormonal disruption is key because chronic stress shifts the hormone production and it becomes more towards survival. The body prioritizes cortisol, and the cortisol and progesterone share the same precursor, low progesterone, which leads to anxiety before periods, irritability, insomnia, cravings, shorter cycles, and intensified PMS symptoms. Now, at this point, your body is not malfunctioning, it's just adapting to prolonged levels of stress. And when the cycle gets disrupted, which it can with prolonged levels of stress, or under eating or extreme dieting or extreme working out or poor sleep, then this sugar becomes unstable and there's inflammation. And the common signs are then you result with heavy periods or missed cycles, or there's extreme, fatigue, mood crashes, weight gain, and acne or hair loss is also very common. Now, these are not just random symptoms or symptoms only associated with your cycle. These are actually your body's signals. Now, what is PMS? PMS is a 70-day, 10-day period before your menstruation where you're experiencing bloating, tenderness, headaches, anxiety, irritability, tiredness, cravings. And normally it's because of the estrogen dominance. The progesterone is super low, so the hormone is really just suffering, and the blood sugar instability makes it even worse where the nervous system is overloaded. It is very common, but that's not something that is normal. You can help yourself with supplements and remedies that will calm these symptoms down. Let's talk about the PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is irregular or absent periods, elevated androgens, insulin resistance, acne, hirsutism, which is hair growth on your face, which is a very common thing for females, and they struggle with it and it affects your confidence. But the PCOS is normally linked to blood sugar dysregulation, and it is definitely reversible. It's not something that you have to live with. Now, they say birth control suppresses the symptoms. Yes, it does suppress the symptoms, but it does not regulate them. So your body gets kind of stuck in chronic survival mode. Now, a few things to be able to do is stabilize your blood sugar, eat protein, avoid skipping the meals, and balance your carb intake. Stabilize your blood sugar. It will make your hormones a lot calmer, which is why most females end up craving chocolates during their cycles. And now respect the luteal phase where you slow down in the second half of your cycle, reduce any kind of stimulants and intense workouts, and prioritize your sleep. Now, thirdly, regulate your stress levels. If you are feeling super stressed during this time, please help yourself. There's a Be Calm remedy, which is amazing. It really decompresses you. Use it heavily during this time, and it will bring you back to a normal baseline. Now, food supplements that would help you is magnesium. It will help reduce your stress levels. The B complex will help push up your energy levels. And the iron, if you're deficient or if you're having very heavy cycles, definitely help yourself with the iron supplement as well. Now, the birth control does not correct hormonal imbalance. That's a myth. So painful periods are common, but they're not normal. PMS is not purely emotional. It is actually a neurological problem and a biological one. So it's a female biology is cyclical. It is not linear. You have to respect that. You have to be aware of it, and you have to be willing to take and able to get yourself the help that you need. Get yourself calm, look into what works for you, what's right for you, and then go ahead and cater to yourself. Next, we will be discussing menopause and perimenopause. Until next episode, stay well, ladies.
Thank you for listening to Sheena Says, and for more info, please visit yourhomeopathy.com.